Hello and welcome to this next installment of the Rich Salad Show. We are excited to be back with another week of exciting topics. We got some sweet trailers. We also have the best of and worst of 2025 for films. We are excited to get into it. First, let's get into our new setting, the Rich Salad Cinemas. We got a new backdrop here, and let's bring in our other guy. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. Excited for another week. Looking forward to the show.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. All right, so let's get into our first topic, which we're going back to Christopher Nolan, the Nolan master. See money. Uh, he's coming at. So this trailer came out recently, so about a week ago, and of course, it's come with its bit of controversy, which we'll get into in a little bit. It's kind of very, very dumb in my opinion, but visually and tonally, this trailer fully delivers. And me and David talk about trailers all the time, and especially for especially for it being a first trailer, you want to get the idea of the tone. You want to get the idea of the tone visually and the tone atmospherically, and we get that in spades here. In a way, it almost kind of reminds me of Dunkirk in some certain shots, especially with the boats. And from top to bottom, it just looks beautiful. I think, I mean, this film is going to be a knockout. I was talking about in the podcast last week that, of course, they showed the 5 minute prologue right ahead of Avatar: Fire and Ash, and unfortunately, I caught like the last minute of it. It was disappointing, and from what I saw, it just looks spectacular. It was the tail end where you're seeing John Bernthal and Tom Holland chat, but the atmosphere of it felt of Nolan's films. The vibe of it just felt intense and fun and real. Like especially like Nolan and like Christopher Nolan and Matt Reeves for filmmakers today, and I'd say Denis Villeneuve in a certain sense, but they're all grounded in realism. And it's like how real can you get with a film like this that is based in the mythic storytelling ways? So I'm very curious how Nolan's going to tackle that. And of course, we see now what's been garnered some controversy, which me and David will chat about, which is the armor and how it's not accurate. I mean, this shot right here with Benny Safdie, who we've talked about Benny on the podcast before, but which his brother Josh Safdie directed Marty Supreme, which we'll talk about in a bit. Um, Benny Safdie's presence with this armor, like he looks badass, and I've seen some people coin it as like Greek Batman, and he fully embodies he fully embodies that look. He just looks so badass. And so he was also in the 5 minute prologue in the very end after they do the whole Trojan horse raid. He steps in through the gate, and man, does he look sick. He's got like just his aura is just oozing through the screen. It's just so cool. So I can't wait to see his story in this. As far as the Odyssey, I mean, it's been a minute since I've heard about the story. I want to say, of course, we read about it in school, and of course, during like high school, I wasn't paying attention that much. But once we read the Iliad, which I think I read that in college, I was glued to the Iliad, and so I kind of have a little bit of knowledge of that story. But David, what say you about Nolan's Odyssey?
I'm very excited for it. The hype that is built around the movie is pretty extreme, and it seems to be that way for anything Christopher Nolan has done the past 5 years. There's a lot of hype built. I mean, they sold tickets a year before it is set to come out for true IMAX. Which, quick sidebar, family vacation will not take place, so I am available.
Okay. Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Remember what you sent me that IG reel about the IMAX that's coming near us, and they're planning on putting that in ahead of the release of Odyssey. So we might not be needing to road trip down to Nashville. We might be able just to get tickets if they build it in time, which they say they are. So,
Really? What?
yeah, yeah,
I guess I
yeah.
didn't see the whole reel, to be honest.
Yeah, right. You just glazed at it. Yeah. So I read part of the article, and they plan on placing a 70 millimeter IMAX theater in It's in Woodridge, the Cinemark Seven Bridges, which I've been to that one. It's a decently nice theater. So yeah, they're gutting out, I want to say probably the normal IMAX theater, which I was in there. I was in there for Rise of Skywalker, and it was a decent theater, but to know that they're bringing in like I am so excited to actually have a legit IMAX theater in our backyard, and just whenever 70 millimeter prints go up, we're able to see true IMAX. I'm very curious about that experience, but
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be super, super epic. So, the trailer comes out again. It does what a trailer needs to do. It doesn't show too much. It sets the tone. The controversy is so unwarranted, and it's really for clicks. I mean, to be honest, the AI video that was generated is really impressive, just in terms of the AI technology. That basically, if you haven't seen the video, we don't have it here, but if you haven't seen, someone recreated this exact trailer, but they created the armor in a the armor is looks like,
like it's
well,
of its time.
I don't even know if that's actual armor. I legitimately do not know where they got that information from.
Right.
Like, it looks like they're wearing these kind of gold plates and everywhere, and it looks like a dog water, garbanzo beans. Like, it looks ridiculous. Like, it's horrible.
Yeah,
But like
visually,
people,
no.
it looks awful. But people were saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so much better. Like, we need to bully Christopher Nolan like we bullied the people that made the Sonic movie to redo the whole movie." And it's like it looks so bad. Like
Mhm.
it is frustrating to see that kind of discourse, because I obviously think it looks good and I think it will look good, but to see people like just clown on it for no really good reason. I will say the AI technology is very impressive because it looks like the exact same trailer,
Hmm.
but like they're just wearing different costumes. Now, the sound design is not accurate because like if you're wearing metal, like it's gonna just like clank the whole time.
Yeah.
So like there's gonna be clanking all over the place. Controversy aside, like, with anyone as big as C Noel, you're gonna get haters. You're gonna get haters. You're gonna get people that have no value, that add no value to society, that add no value whatsoever, and are just in it for clicks. I guess maybe the guy that created the AI video did add a little bit of value, because now people are saying, "Holy cow, AI can do this." Anyways,
Right.
that add no actual value, that just rage bait for clicks, do crazy stuff like this, which is like, just enjoy what you're watching before you read what people say, unless you have someone that you know, maybe. If you have someone that you know and they're saying something about it, okay, but just go and watch it. And I'm really excited to see this in 70 mil, the true IMAX. I heard that for Oppenheimer screenings, some of the IMAX theaters like broke down
Okay.
because, because I mean, the amount of effort it takes to, like the theaters weren't designed for 3 hours
I see what you're saying.
epics.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just it's so huge. Like it's physical. It's not it's a physical
Mhm.
thing,
The
and
film.
it's so massive that like it takes a lot of mechanical functioning for these things to work. It's not like digital. It's not like play you it's not like it's on a USB drive.
Right.
It's that's how films were. I'm very excited for it. I'm disappointed to see discourse on it online, because I think it's going to be really good. I like the color design of it too. Um, Kind of sets the mood, sets the tone for it.
Oh yeah.
So very excited, looking forward to it.
Yeah. Super excited for it. Um, yeah, I do have another thing to say to that. The obnoxious discourse for the costume, and the fact that no matter what costume they use in this film, the movie is still the same. So
Right.
it is the exact same with which either version. So you can cry all you want. It's not going to help. But for me, visually, I am very happy Nolan went with the creative route, which he is that guy to go that route anyway, because he is a lovely creative mind with a eye for some of the uh, some great, beautifully crafted armor pieces and set design and all that. So I trust
I
in
do have
Nolan.
I have one more thing I want to add. So we see the brief like Cyclops image thing with the brief Cyclops sequence. Like we see it was just very briefly
Mhm.
in the and with that video that we watched on forced perspective, done by the
Uh,
Corridor crew. Is
yeah.
that what it was?
Mhm.
That's an amazing video, and you should go watch it. It's about Lord of the Rings, the history of forced perspective in movies. It's going to be really interesting to see how this is done. And,
Right.
we know Nolan doesn't like using CGI. He likes to do everything practically. So the memes online are, Matt Damon looking up at a real life Cyclops, like freaking out. Um, but it's going to be interesting if he's going to be using any forced perspective tactics like something like Lord of the Rings did. I'm going to be geeking out over it and trying to spot it.
Mhm.
um because that's literally forced perspective is true like movie magic. It feels like, really, especially when you're watching Lord of the Rings and you're just like enveloped in like, oh my gosh, like Gandalf is huge, these guys are actually small. You could like you like your brain can't decipher how they did it.
Right.
That's what's so cool. So I'm interested to see if there's anything like this. I have to imagine it's going to be something practical, maybe some forced perspective. So gonna be geeking out over it for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think one of my biggest questions is how is Nolan gonna handle the mythical with this? Because he hasn't done, as far as I know, anything quite like this. It's all, I mean, even though like Inception could be considered mythical in ways, but from a time period, uh, thousands of years ago, that's still based in myth. How can he adapt that to a more grounded reality for this story? And from the trailer, it seems like it's pretty grounded. I mean, I'm so curious about this section where the soldiers coming out of the ground. Like visually, it looks awesome. They just look so cool, and it's kind of hard to see their designs. It was like it's a little difficult, but man, just like little neat things like that in this trailer really excite me. It's coming soon, man. It's going to be exciting time and looking forward to it. All right, guys, let us know your thoughts on the Odyssey trailer. Are you excited for it? Let us know your thoughts.
Dude, there's a guy. He's like a walking meme sound bar. He'll
Okay.
just like that. If you know the sound where the guy, it's just a guy saying like nope, but he's saying it like kind of
Oh yeah,
loudly, where
yeah.
nope.
Nope.
Dude, he says it all the time. He says it in normal work conversation. Like someone will ask him like, "Hey, do you have this?" He's like, "Nope." But the way he says it is like the exact same as the meme.
Yeah.
Like it's the exact same.
All right, guys. With that down, we are moving into our next trailer, which David brought this up to me, and it's about an interesting video game-ish adaptation from good old Markiplier. David, you want to take the reins of this story?
Yeah, so this is called The Iron Lung, and it's based off of a game that is actually shorter than the length of the movie that's going to be. And it's a very kind of analog based game. It's a short claustrophobic horror game where you play as an unnamed convict piloting a rusty cramped submarine through like a deep ocean of blood on an alien moon to photograph anomalies. And you have to deal with different factors in the game like pressure and limited visibility. And it's a horror game. And it's got kind of this like unique kind of world that it's built, and it's very, very short. It's very short. Markiplier has played this game on YouTube. And I think it was only a matter of time before Markiplier made a movie, because the effort that he has really put into his videos on YouTube has been extreme. and I think he's acted in a few roles before.
Hmm.
So it was really only a matter of time before he just kind of put a ton of work and effort into a passion project like this. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see how it turns out. I'm really excited for it. Something that I think has boosted that he is marketing and should be marketed, because this is really cool, is that this movie reportedly set the world record for the amount of blood used in a film.
Okay.
I think it's 80,000 gallons. It's something like absolutely astronomical amount of blood. Like, and that's really cool that like his first movie that he's directing, he broke a world record. So really excited to see it. The trailer itself looks very interesting. You can kind of see Markiplier is also seems to be the lead of this area, and because of the way the game is set, it's kind of a smaller location. So, um, but I love the cinematography. I love the colors, and I'm really excited to see. I really want it to succeed. I want it to do well because we might get more from him.
Yeah, I will say when I first saw this trailer, I didn't know anything going into it. So on its own, I was like, hmm, I didn't vibe with it that much. But once I looked up the premise of the game, I was like, huh, okay. I'm a little more enticed now because I think setting up stories that are in it seems like this is going to be one location, um, and a lot of different scenarios can happen in one location. There could be a lot of it could be thrilling, it could be scary, it could be maybe exciting in some small moments, but the overall atmosphere of this trailer feels tense. And for me, I really enjoy tense movies because those are the ones that can like grip you, and I'm all for the experience of having a gripping feeling whenever I'm watching a film. And a film like Iron Lung seems like that's gonna fit the bill. Seeing Markiplier in the lead role, I mean, it's just a trailer, so I can't go off too much, but he seems fine. Like, I'm willing to see what he can work with what he's got, and I think, for being solo in this film, which it seems like he's gonna be, like, the main of course, he's gonna be the main protagonist, but we're gonna have some other characters' voices, it seems like, surrounding him and helping him out in some way. So, with him being on his own, I think is a very big acting challenge because it's just you and, you can't bounce off really much anyone. Well, in this scene, you see him interacting with something or someone. So, yeah, I think this is gonna be a great exercise for him as an actor, and it seems like he's very passionate about this story. So, if you have a lot of passion about a certain story and you go out, you put the money behind it, you put the effort behind it, I think hopefully you can deliver something good. So, David, yeah, like you said, hopefully it, makes some money, hopefully it does good, and yeah, it's going to theaters, so we love to see that. And of course, in this trailer, like lots of blood, like you said, it looks gory. It looks very interesting. I was also thinking about another film that's in one location and like the various things you could do, which I still haven't seen yet, but it's called Buried with Ryan Reynolds, and the entirety of the film takes place with him buried alive. So, and from what I've heard, it's a very compelling film, it's very interesting, so to know that you can craft a story with just one location is really compelling as a filmmaker and as a creative that, wow, you can really trick the mind and, like, what you're creating with a small location and make it grand. It's all dependent on the writing and making sure the audience is interested throughout the way, and your lead character is doing different things, and there's also development with themselves. So, very, very interested in this film. It's, what's that, coming out in January, right? Yeah, January 30th.
Coming out in January.
Yeah, Iron Lung. David, you got any final thoughts?
I think something that is also interesting is the marketing aspect of it, because he can essentially promote his movie to essentially for free for his on his massive 30 million subscribers that he has. 30
Yeah.
plus million. He can just promote it for free that way. And it's going to be interesting to see how that translates to ticket sales, to results, if people are interested in seeing it. And will we see other YouTubers take to the screen to with different things, and because they have that massive just arm of marketing arm of their audience, and they've built up goodwill and trust with their audience. So to go to a different domain, being the big screen theater, could be another way theaters could, and it could be another shot, like notice to Hollywood, hey, this is working.
Very interested to see. All right, guys. Let us know if you're interested in seeing Iron Lung. Got lots of sweet movies coming out in 2026. Definitely one to check out. Oh, did you finish Welcome to Dairy yet?
It's gotten to the point where the jump scares don't scare me,
Yeah.
which I like, and some of it's comical in a way, honestly,
See
but
that?
it's still so interesting. Did I tell you about the guy that like spoils everything?
Oh no.
Dude, I will not talk to him about shows anymore.
Oh, that sucks. That's like my worst nightmare. I would I would lose it.
Okay, so like this was a week and a half before Pluribus season finale came out, and he watches it. He was like, "Oh, I think I saw a spoiler for it," and then he proceeds to explain what he saw to me. And then like the girl who's across from me, who's around my age, she's like, "Well, you just spoiled it for him." And then he's like, well, he was gonna find out anyway." I'm like,
All right, guys, with that down, we are moving on to a little movie review of Morty Supreme. I saw this last night. It was one of my most anticipated films of the year. Timothy Chalamet, one of my favorite actors. I was quickly put on to his work from Dune, and I know he's done multiple things. I still need to see Call Me by Your Name. Still need to see A Beautiful Boy, because there were two films that really brought him on the pedestal to really get recognized. And of course, Dune films brought him higher, and he's just been on a tear recently. And Marty Supreme is no exception. From what I've seen, it's been getting pretty good reception. But from what I've heard from a lot of people is Marty is a huge annoyance and he's very unlikable. And yes, that is definitely the case. However, something I've been pondering is that, what is the deal with certain characters in shows that you watch or movies that you see that they are unlikable, whether they're an unlikable person or they're a villain of some sort in a superhero show. Like I kind of compared it to Homelander in The Boys. Like you hate these characters, but there's still something so compelling about them that makes you watch them. And with Marty Supreme, it's no exception. I think he is super fun to watch in this. He really brings it. He is an asshole throughout the entire film, but you get why he is that way, because this film, even though it's kind of they think this is Timothy Chalamet's ping pong movie, it is, but it also is not. It's really just about the strive for greatness. What are you willing to do to get what you want in life? And that's what I love most about this film is his compelling performance to do that. It's like almost in a way it feels like this is Chalamet at his like fullest Chalamet and just belting out a really knockout performance, because I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get nominated for an Oscar. And I think going into it, this was his role to get that. Gwyneth Paltrow, a really nice supporting character to Chalamet. The way their relationship goes in the film is really neat. Go further, all the ping pong scenes were really awesome. David, I think you're going to really dig this. I know. I think there were some sequences that were partially real, but I mean, I'm not too aware of how they were able to make it super real. So I'm pretty sure lots of it was CG, and there was really cool moments where Marty Mauser was doing some trick shots, and there's no way he did those actually. So all the CG looked beautiful in this. Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank guy, he's honestly fantastic, and his bounce back between Marty and himself is great. Their rapport is just fantastic. They really give each other some great scenes. This scene, I remember David, we were talking about when we first talked about Marty Supreme, them in the bowling alley. Like that whole bowling alley scene was fantastic. Just the way they go about. Well, I don't want to reveal too much, but Also in this shot, we got Tyler the Creator on the left side. He was a fantastic character. I mean, this film is just a wonderful ensemble. Everyone in this film delivers. Chalamet delivers as well. So all in all, he's definitely a pain to see. He's very rude, but like I said, there's always something so compelling about that type of character. Not that we enjoy seeing someone be rude to people, but it's just their charisma level, their confidence is so heightened. It's like we admire that about them. Visually, the way this movie opened, it opens with him in a shoe store, and just visually, the film grain, even though I'm pretty sure it's probably shot digitally, but the way the film grain is, the way the colors are, because it does take place in the 50s. So that whole, I mean, the set production is beautiful, the costuming is beautiful, lots of attention to detail within this. Josh Safdie directed this. I think he did a fantastic job. I know it's funny. This year was like the battle of the Safdie brothers. You had, and both of them had biopics. You had Benny Safdie direct The Smashing Machine with The Rock. You have Josh Safdie directing Marty Supreme with Timothy Chalamet. So two big actors with two brother directors. It was really cool to see them, and I think they both delivered films. Both delivered great films this year. I was curious if Marty Supreme was gonna make my top 10 for this year, and it ever so slightly did not. So it was very close. It will be in my honorable mentions for this year, but all in all, I really enjoyed it. There was, I think, the one thing that really deterred me, and I'll just say one word, is that it was the dog scene or the dog sequence. So I won't go into that just for spoiler reasons, but it's this one, it's not really a side story. I get why they were doing this, but the moment you kind of go into the moment you kind of step into another story and then try and connect it back in the end, like that can work, but it just did not work in this film. It really, it made it longer. It made it worse in my opinion. It was just kind of chaos for nothing. Even though this film is chaotic, it is, there are some crazy moments that happen, and especially the opening sequence. I won't get into it, but it is hilarious if you know what I'm talking about. The opening sequence is like inspired, and it's funny the way they start off the film and the way they jump to different bonkers ideas later on. It kind of makes sense, but it still feels a little jarring. That's probably why it's not in my top 10 for the year. But all around, I think it's a fantastic film. I was gripped from the beginning. Marty Supreme delivers, in my opinion. So if we got, that's pretty much it. David, I know you're interested in seeing it. What's your hype level for Marty Supreme?
Yeah, I think it's really I think I would like to see it. I haven't seen it yet, and Timothy Chalamet has been putting on very good performances recently. So, and he has kind of that insane kind of mindset
Right.
where he's literally insane and he wants to be the greatest, and you have to be literally insane to do that. And so seeing him in a role like this, I think kind of adds to the literal insanity of it.
Mhm.
So I think this is a movie that I definitely want to see. You know, despite maybe some people not liking it, I think it's a movie that I definitely gotta see.
Yeah, absolutely. From what I've seen, the Rotten Tomato scores, everyone seems to collectively like it. So good to see. Good to see the Safdie Bros doing, because they usually direct together, but I think this is their first time directing separately, and we get two films out of it. So yeah, more films from auteur filmmakers that want to tell a story they're passionate about, and I'm all for. So that is my review of Marty Supreme. Let me know what you guys think if you've seen Marty Supreme. Curious to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, with that down, we're getting into something super exciting. Our very first best of 2025 films. Let's go. David's excited. I'm super jazzed. So I'm gonna get into my top 10, but first I'm gonna go into some honorable mentions because there's so many fantastic films this year. And I'm starting with The Housemaid, which I saw last week. And I was very curious about this film going into it. It's from Paul Feig, who directed A Simple Favor, which was a great mystery, fun film, very funny, with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. And The Housemaid delivers very well. It's definitely, it's like the way the trailer sets up. There's a mystery going on what's up with Amanda Seyfried, Sydney Sweeney as his housemaid, how is his story going to play out? And it plays out really creatively. It feels kind of long, but the wait feels warranted by what happens in the end, and it is shocking, it is funny, it is thrill ride inducing, it is a great time at the theater. So definitely highly recommend The Housemaid. Next, Predator Badlands. Of course, this has to be on my honorable mentions. It's just a great time. I think Dan Trachtenberg has been delivering consistently. He is spearheading this Predator franchise. He knows what he's doing. The franchise is in great hands. A lot of fans are just gushing at more from this guy. Elle Fanning was fantastic in this. Having a Predator as the lead protagonist for the first time was awesome. The set pieces were beautiful. Lots of great cinematography mixed throughout this desolate planet as our lead protagonist is trying to survive and is trying to earn his keep as the Predator and get back to his homeworld as the man. So, highly recommend Predator Badlands. Fantastic Four, a win for the MCU, in my opinion. Everyone was curious about this film going into it. Was this going to be the Fantastic Four film that could break the curse of the previous 3 or 4? And it totally did. It delivered lots of great performances in this.
Say that again.
Fantastic Four was indeed fantastic. So, highly recommend that. MCU bring in another banger. They need more to be considered back, but we'll see with Spider-Man Brand New Day. After that, we get into Warfare, which, David, we saw earlier this year. It was an experience like no other, coming from the director of Civil War, with who's co-directing with an actual military veteran. A very close knit set, and it's very tight, but the all the craziness that is, I mean, this is totally a visceral experience of what happens in war. And I mean, it's great because there's bits of comedy in there. There's of course bits of despair and lots of gore, lots of things you don't really want to see. But if you want to be immersed in a visceral experience of warfare, this is it. And like I said, coming from the director of Civil War, Alex Garland, Civil War was one of my favorite films last year. Brilliant, brilliant vision. Warfare is on my list for this year. One battle after another. I know a lot of people have this as probably their number one for the year. I think
You're
it's
still in you're still in honorable mentions.
yeah, I'm still in honorable mentions.
Okay.
I got a lot. We're almost done, but one battle after another. Like I said, this film is getting a lot of Oscar buzz. I think it's the front runner for Best Picture right now. Leo is fantastic. The supporting role, Sean Penn. Sean Penn delivers one of the best performances of the year, hands down. And I fully believe he's gonna probably win Best Supporting in a lead actor role. So curious to see how that shakes out. But one battle after another, coming from Paul Thomas Anderson, a very fun film. It's a lot of film to chew on. That's probably my drawback why it isn't in my top 10. It feels long, it's dense, it touches on political topics. There's this really insane car chase sequence that has been done like I've never seen before. So that was brilliant. Just an all-around fantastic film. Very funny moments. Benicio del Toro was fantastic in it as well. Chase Infinity. This is like her kind of debut into what she can really do, and this film is only going to make her grow. So that is one battle after another. Marty Supreme, still in the honorable mentions. Talked about this earlier in this episode. Really enjoyed it. Does have a drawback for me. It seems like there was this dog story that really took me out of it. Didn't need to be there. Film could have been cut short a little bit more. I would have enjoyed it much more. Marty Supreme, absolutely loved it. Timothy Chalamet delivers. Yeah, all the ping pong scenes were fantastic. It's a thrill ride from start to finish. Very fun. Now we're getting into the top 10 with 10 beginning with Avatar: Fire and Ash. I think Way of Water made my top 10 of the year a few years ago as well. So no surprise. I mean, like, yeah, this franchise is beginning to get formulaic, which I don't think is bad because visually you're going to get a masterclass in filmmaking. All these characters, and I think once you get into franchises, like the more you connect with the franchises, the more you can connect with characters. So if you've been with these characters for at least 3 films, at least Jake Sully, Quaritch, and Neytiri, you've built such a connection to them, and this film just continues that connection with their kids and all their storylines going on. The whole Spider storyline I really enjoyed in this film, because in Way of Water I didn't really enjoy Spider that much. He was just kind of there, but the way they used Spider, really enjoyed that. The lead villain in this film, Varang, she was fantastic. She was the standout. She was really fun to watch. Quaritch was always a great time to watch. Whenever Quaritch and Sully get together, those scenes are always super fun from top to bottom. And this film was 3 hours, and I didn't really feel the runtime, so it was just really fun. I could have sat through another hour. I really enjoyed this world that James Cameron has made. Who knows if we'll see some more avatars? I'm pretty sure we will, because I'm pretty sure they've shot some more of from Avatar 4 within shooting Avatar Fire and Ash. I would say James Cameron probably has another 2 more Avatar films he'd want to do, but I know he wants to do some more stuff. So I know a lot of people want to see him kind of diverge from Avatar, because that's what he's been stuck on for a while, and they just want to see him do something new, which I'm down for. But I mean, James Cameron, he knows what he's doing. Jimmy C delivers, like we've said. He has three of the top films, three of the top 5 films of box office are his, over 2 billion. I mean, the man knows. The man knows cinema. Whether you think Avatar is bad or not, I mean, come on, the money does not lie. So that is Avatar Fire and Ash at number 10. At number 9, together, David, this would be a great date film for you guys to watch.
It's a horror film, though.
It's a horror film, absolutely, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like scary, scary. It's creepy in moments,
Are there
but
jump scares?
yeah.
Okay, well, she won't watch it.
Oh,
My wife won't.
that's unfortunate. But this
Yeah.
film, this film caught me off guard, because I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I want to say it came out in around August, and it took me a while to get to see it, but I'm so glad I got to see it, because visually the things they do, and like you see from the poster of, and it's cool because this is Dave Franco and Alison Brie, who are both married in real life, actually acting in their roles as husband and wife in this film. And of course, you see they're connected in more ways than one. And it is just, it's so fascinating, the visuals they create in this film. And from start to finish, I think you're in for a fun ride. I think the way they build the tension was really nice in this mysterious kind of mythic, like supernatural thing that happens to them. So like visually, this is something you will, I wouldn't say be scarred by, but it's just visually captivating, whether you think it's disgusting or not. I thought it was really, really fascinating. So from start to finish, this film is great. These actors fully deliver this performance of this husband and wife who are just trying to get through this supernatural disease, I'll say. So that is together at number 9. We got Thunderbolts, aka New Avengers, at number 8. This was another win for Marvel this year. Marvel has been on such rocky ground for the past 5 years. We don't really know where they're going, but with Doomsday, you got the Russo brothers coming back. You got Kevin Feige teaming up with the Russo brothers, a dynamic duo, dynamic trio that has not lost. I mean, you have they combined on Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers, Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, all films which is wildly successful. So you got them coming back for Doomsday. How can that not deliver? It's probably going to deliver. So with this film with Thunderbolts, it's really cool. Just like the visual style of the stills I was able to grab, having Void as your main villain. If you're aware of the comics, but which I wasn't going into this, who the villainous Void, which the way they capture him is super neat. You can see in that bottom still, it's very faint, but the way they use his eyes are super cool. I think this film is just wildly fun. You have a misfit band of characters that all work together really well. And it's funny because you have a lot of characters from different films, and from different TV shows during that Marvel Rocky era. So it's like everyone was questioning if this film would open big, and I don't think it did. It definitely didn't make as much money as it wanted to, which is unfortunate. But what's most important is the story, and the story fully delivered. I think most people can agree they had a great time. The message about just self-help, the message about friends being there for someone who need to get through mental instability, it was so present in this film, and it was so beautiful to see, especially the ending, if you know what I'm talking about, where they're all hugging in that certain moment. It's just beautiful. And visually, like I think visually this is one of Marvel's most, I don't know, beautiful films. It's very dark in moments, but I don't know, something about this film really struck with me. So you got New Avengers at number 8. 7, we got Companion. We talked about this earlier on our earlier episodes of the podcast. This was the first film of the year that really stuck with me. I didn't know anything about it going into it. The initial trailer showed us, I don't know, it was just something so fascinating about, especially in that top still for the top left of Sophie Thatcher holding out her arm with her as it's ablaze. It was like, what's going on here? Like the trailer was really enticing, was really intriguing. It struck me, and then once you actually see the film and see what it's about, I was like, oh, okay. And the whole journey of the film with Sophie Thatcher as our lead character was fantastic. I really enjoyed it all. Jack Quaid plays an interesting role he doesn't usually play, so that was exciting to see. The final kill in this movie was very, very fun to see. Very creative in how they foreshadowed that. But that's all I'll say about that. But very exciting film. Yeah, like I know this film is kind of categorized as a horror. I wouldn't really categorize that as a horror at all. But to see like this film companion and together two kind of smaller budget films that can reach a pedestal of, I don't know, just crafting a really neat story. I always love to see that. So that is Companion at number 7. We got Sinners. How can we not talk about Sinners? One of the best movies of the year. I know most people have this probably in their top 5. You have Michael B. Jordan playing dual roles in this film, directed by one of the greatest directors who's working today, Ryan Coogler. He is, in my opinion, the top 3 directors working today. You got Coogler, you got Nolan, you got Denis Villeneuve, and you could throw Spielberg in there too, I'd say. But those directors right now are just on fire, especially those 3. And Coogler, he knows what to do. He is a pure auteur filmmaker. He's fully invested in the stories he's telling. Michael B. Jordan playing twins. He does he does a fantastic job carrying the weight of this film. And the guy who I can't remember his name, but he plays kind of like our lead protagonist ish, who's really good with the guitar. That whole sequence with the barn or their jazz joint kind of burning down with the musical sequence that most people were kind of iffy about. Like visually, it is jarring, but narratively, I did understand it, and it was a bold creative choice, which I think is great to swing for, and I think he hit. So for that creative choice, I think it really worked. You have, I think his name is Jack O'Connell, who's in that middle still right there, who plays our lead villain. He is electric in this film. It's so cool because this film basically balances 2 different, I don't know if I'd say 2 different tones, but it's like 2 different movies. You have these brothers building like a cool jazz joint of just having good times, and then all of a sudden it just transforms into this vampiric action thrill ride that's just super fun. So Sinners has to be on my list. One of the best films of the year, hands down. Definitely gonna get nominated for Best Picture. Hopefully it wins. That'd be pretty sweet. I know a lot of people would love to see that. Ryan Coogler. That'd be sweet to see Ryan Coogler win. Once we're getting into the top 5, for me, that's the films that really connect with me emotionally. So we got Roofman. This film kind of came out of nowhere for me. Channing Tatum, Kirsten Dunst, Peter Dinklage. It's just a really, really sweet film. And a sweet meaning like emotionally. I think the way Channing plays this role, and it's based on true events, where it's this robber who is an ex army veteran kind of guy who I think he was, I don't know if he was dishonorably discharged, but he left that part of his life, and he didn't really know how to figure out his life. But he was just trying to provide for his daughter, and in doing so, he was called the Roof Man for a reason. He would rob places through the roof, or he would enter in through the roof, and but he was also known as like a very sweet robber. Like like one of the opening sequences, he's robbing this McDonald's, and he's like, "All right, you guys got to get in the freezer," and he notices the employees don't have coats on, and of course they're not gonna have coats on. They're just gonna have their work wardrobe on. So he's like, and he has a coat himself, and he's like, "All right, you guys need a coat," and he gives him he gives them his coat, and it's like it's so sweet. So like our introduction to him is really nice, and he plays such a great character. I mean, this whole film is a great journey about just he's trying to he's trying to provide for people. At his core, he's a good person, but he does a lot of really bad things, and that dichotomy in this film works so well. And the ending is just really heartbreaking. And like I said, my top 5 films really connect with me emotionally, and this was that. And it seems like every year there's always a film of some sort that connects with me emotionally out of nowhere, and this was that. So you got Roofman at number 5. Number 4, Ballerina. We're getting back to John Wick. John Wick is one of my favorite franchises ever. Ballerina delivers the action in spades. And like the John Wick films and Ballerina, like they're not known for their story, but action wise, they're just so fun. The flamethrower sequence was real in this film. Now, of course, they of course use visual effects for certain elements, but I mean, they literally shot flamethrowers. Lots of this stuff was practical. Of course, not the gunshots, but they just keep one upping themselves. Like the team behind John Wick, these action sequences deliver in such a creative way. It's like they keep one upping themselves in their creative discipline and how they craft these scenes. And Anna de Armas delivers a fantastic performance. You have, of course, Keanu does show up in this, so you get some really neat scenes with that, connecting that narrative to John Wick. And it was just a thrill ride, a super fun time. Later in the show, we'll go over our best shots of the year, and there is one specific shot in this which we'll go over. It's just crazy. My jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe they did this. It was just so badass. So you got Ballerina at number 4, The Long Walk at number 3. This film, it's filled with dread, it's filmed with gloom and doom, but you have these two characters that are at the heart of it. And I say heart of it for a reason because there's a lot of heart with these two characters. As this is directed by the director of Hunger Games, so you get that dystopian future feel. Mark Hamill's in there. He's also fantastic. You get a great band of kind of misfit characters who participate in this walk every year, and whoever wins gets a cash prize and a wish of whatever they want. So, like, it's interesting visually. The film does get creative enough with just people walking because that's mainly what the film is about. But there is some cut scenes to jump back or flashbacks to certain moments in their lives. And I think just the main our main protagonists, their relationship is really beautiful. It's really inspiring, this film. And you know, to see a film like this that seems very dreadful, to implement some inspiration in there is really beautiful to see. And this film fully delivered for me. It's a guttural experience. I remember I saw this for the second time with my mom, and she couldn't handle it. She was like, "It is too much." And I'm like, "I know, but that's what makes it so good." Because it's just you feel like the visceral, like this film is so good at making you feel like you're in the moment with them in this walk. And this film is a hit out of the park for me. I loved it. So that's A Long Walk at number 3. Number 2, love Weapons so much. David, we saw Weapons together. It's just what can I say about Weapons?
Such a good
It's
movie.
such a good movie, man. The creative concept to tell this non-linearly was done beautifully. I think doing that could be kind of confusing in some ways to some audiences, but for me, I loved it. Focusing on these different characters and then making sure we see their side from a different perspective. I mean, it's cool. I mean, and it's almost kind of like a euphemism for life. Like you seeing other perspectives makes you think differently, and I think this film is a great example of that. But and it is interesting because this is, I would consider this a horror, but with Zach Cregger directing, he is a guy with a comedy background, so you get those bits of comedy that are really funny, especially with Josh Brolin with his section when he's seeing his son in bed, and then all of a sudden he gets jump scared and he gets knocked out, and he's like, what the fuck? And it's such a genuine reaction that like the crowd, when I saw it for the first time, the crowd I was in, they busted out. It was such a relatable moment that people just adored. So I think this film had a wonderful director behind it. Like I said, Zach Cregger. I think he's working on his Resident Evil film, which I'm not too familiar with the video games, but whatever Zach Cregger makes, I'm super excited to see. He made Barbarian, which I saw this year as well. Love that film visually. I think it's beautiful, and the story behind it's really neat. But Weapons at number 2, it's just, I love this film so much. It's just a great time. At number 1, Superman. Yeah, I Superman for it. It really had to hit because coming from the Snyderverse, and I don't care if I mean if hey if you love the Snyderverse, that's great. I really enjoyed what the Snyderverse did, but it was dead. No one was going to see these movies. They weren't really rated that well critically as well. There had to be a shuffle, of course, with David Zaslav coming in, taking Warner Brothers under his wing, putting James Gunn and Peter Safran as the co-heads of DC, creating DCU, the own studio. This is its first theatrical debut. It had to hit, and boy, it hit. It really did. It was, I mean, like crafting this graphic right here, like seeing all the different stills. I think visually it is beautiful. I love the use of colors. Seeing if crypto could work, because I know going into it, people were curious, like how could a dog? I mean, and you think James Gunn knows how to use animals, so and it's cool that it's based on his dog as well. So very sweet and emotional in that, right? The scenes with Clark Kent and his dad were just so beautiful. I mean, I'm a lover of Smallville. I'm a lover of Superman and Lois. I've seen a lot of Superman content. I love seeing the Ma and Pa Kent stuff. It's super relatable because I mean, you get this alien who's just, all powerful, but yet deep down, he's a country boy who loves his family and his family loves him. So just that dichotomy in this film was just beautiful as well. The standout of this film, Mr. Terrific, he was super fun. Eddie Gathegi was the standout for me in this film. He was very fun. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, she was great. The guy who plays Jimmy Olsen, who he's apparently getting his own show, which coming after Superman, after I saw Superman, I'm like, I want to see Jimmy Olsen in more stuff. And we're getting Jimmy Olsen more stuff. So I'm super excited about that. We get Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I think he fully delivered this film. Uh, I can always gush about it. I think this was a super success for the DCU in the right direction. I'm very excited for Supergirl. I will say the first trailer for Supergirl did not impress me that much, but you have a great director behind it. You have a great star behind it. You have Jason Momoa as Lobo in it. I mean, come on. It's probably going to be pretty good. So I think the DCU is in good hands. We also have Clayface coming out next year. So that's going to be an interesting film. Another film about body horror. We're just talking about Together, which Together is a lot of body horror. So the DCU is in good hands with James Gunn and Peter Safran. So that is my top 10 films of the year. All right, that was a long session of talking, David. What kind of films you got for me for your best of the year?
Yeah, so I did not see as many films as you did this year. Not nearly as much. So
Yeah.
I have three. My number three, and this was not a movie that was anywhere on my radar as something I would remotely enjoy, but this kind of took over the universe when it came out, especially with families and young children, and that is K-pop Demon Hunters. And again, as a 27-year-old man, when I heard the title K-pop Demon Hunters, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be interested in this movie, right? It's an animated movie. Again, K-pop. I've never listened to K-pop in my life ever. Like K-pop Demon Hunters? Like what? What is this? And I kept hearing good things about it. And at work, like my coworker would play the songs of K-pop Demon Hunter. And so I told my wife, I'm like, hey, we gotta check this out. We watched it and I was absolutely blown away. The only reason for me why this is not number one is because I could not experience it in the theater. The story is great. The music is unbelievable. The animation is really cool. It's ever since Into the Spider-Verse, the stylized animation has really been very popular. And this is kind of a mix of a Pixar-y, like super clean animation and kind of the Into the Spider-Verse stylized 3D style. Because it's a Korean film, it has kind of nods to, I don't want to say anime because that's Japanese, but Korean kind of manhwa, I believe is the term for manga in Korea. Has kind of those ties to it as well, and it ties all of these artistic styles together, and it's just a beautiful looking film. Again, I mean, it's a musical, so the songs have to absolutely destroy, and every single one of them does. The story is great. It's interesting. It's good versus evil. It's phenomenal, phenomenal on every level. Really, really good. And that is my number. Again, the only reason it's not number one is because I could not experience it in the theater. Now, it was released for a brief period of time, but that was the sing-along version, and I just did not wanna go see that personally. I didn't wanna go see the sing-along version. A lot of people did though, and it topped the box office when it was in for 2 days, so absolutely crazy. We're definitely getting 1, probably 2, maybe 3 more movies of K-pop Demon Hunters for sure. That's my number 3. My number 2, like yours, is Weapons. Weapons again was phenomenal. The cinematography was really good. It's a very unique take on a very unique horror film. Stylistic choices that were really interesting, and it's just kind of a very, I wouldn't call it a tight story, but seeing the different perspectives was very cool, and I guess in a way made it tighter because you're showing the same thing happening from the different perspectives. Lots of really great performances, really great story. It's got the comedy element too that kind of makes you just like laugh at certain points in the theater, which is, for as dark of a situation as it was really cool. And then the ending was super satisfying. Can't speak very highly on Weapons. And then my number one, as with you, is the one and only Superman. People were just really wanting it's a good guy against kind of an insurmountable force, and something bad happens, and we win. The good guy wins. He changes the world. He's a likable character. The performances are great. What really has to hit for a superhero movie is you have to really be immersed in the fact that this guy is a superhero, and you definitely are with the CG and the monsters that he fights, and just the certain shots in the movie, which we'll get to, really just envelop you in Superman, and he feels like a superhuman. And obviously, the side characters were really good as well. Lex Luthor was amazingly over the top and hilarious, and also bad, evil, right? But we got lots of great memes about it. Like, I'm so just engrossed in memes, meme culture, and memes. So I can really get a feel for when people, after I go see a movie, what's coming up in my feed. And I
Mm,
can kind of get a feel for the tone of what people are talking about. And people like just absolutely love this. People love this movie,
that's
and it
awesome.
definitely shows with ticket sales and the response from it. But there are some great memes. We got 1A. Gosh, that was such a good meme. It was such a good moment in the movie too. 1A, 1A, 1A. It just so perfectly fits the
It fit,
uh
yeah, it fits, it fit that style of Lex Luthor, and I know it does get pushed back, like, some people were annoyed by it. It's like, it fits the character for me, and it made sense because I mean, Lex hates Superman. He
mhm.
despises Superman, so you get his visceral rage.
Yes, and the thing is, you like up to that point you were building up, and you can kind of see who Lex Luthor was up until that point. And so when you get to that point, you're like, okay, this makes sense why he's over the top, why he's, saying stuff like this. Um so yeah, my top 3, Superman number 1, Weapons at number 2, K-pop Demon Hunters at number 3. I hope to see more movies next year.
Yeah,
Hopefully I'll be able to
come
do
with
that
me,
with.
come with me. See every
Yeah.
week. Well,
Yeah, I know.
you
Yeah, I
got a
think
kid.
I do have a child. He's turned a year old now, so he's gonna be a little older. I think that makes it easier. At least that's what people tell me.
We'll
But
see.
that was my top 3.
Heck
Very
yeah.
similar to yours, really. At least number
Yeah.
1 and 2. I didn't see everything else,
Mhm.
but but yeah.
Right. Okay. Sweet. All right, guys. Let us know what your top 10 are. Very curious to hear your thoughts on that. Lots of great movies coming out this year that came out this year. Lots of great movies, hopefully great movies coming out next year. Yeah, we're gonna get into our top most looking forward to films next week, which that's gonna be a fun time because there are so many sweet films hopefully coming in 2026. All right, guys, with that down, we are moving on to a little bit of a downer portion of the not so best of 2025 films.
Big sad.
So we are getting into my least, or I'd say most disappointed films of this year. And we're starting at number 5 with The Running Man. I mean, you got Edgar Wright, a part of this, one of my favorite directors recently with Baby Driver. I love Baby Driver so much. I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World. His sensibilities of filmmaking always attract me. And for the most part, Running Man delivers, but I think it just kind of stumbles on itself in the end, and the climax of the film just didn't land for me. And it seems like for most people, because it's ever since its release, it's kind of been pushed aside, which is unfortunate because I think Glenn Powell delivers a fantastic performance. Coleman Domingo is fantastic in this as well. Josh Brolin is great. It's a really solid action flick, but I think it could have been more. So that's Running Man at number 5. Number 4, we are getting into Good Fortune, which is one of the, I think, our first review on the channel, which is kind of funny. Good Fortune, starring Keanu Reeves, directed by Aziz Ansari, and also starring Seth Rogen, Sandra Oh, Keke Palmer. You have a really rich cast in this, but I don't know. There were moments where it was a little cringy. The story itself just wasn't as compelling as it could have been, I think. I think you have a great idea there with this angel who switches the places of these characters, and they can see their perspectives from different from their respective perspectives. And I think there could have been more there, but for me it just didn't deliver in terms of the comedy. It For me, I was kind of hyped about it as well going into it. I think the concept was great, but it just didn't deliver in multiple ways for me. But again, the casting performances are real solid, but a little bit disappointing from Aziz Ansari. At number 3, Mickey 17, coming from the director of Parasite, which, David, I mean, Parasite. Oh, Parasite's so good. I mean, God, it's so good. So coming into Mickey 17, the concept seemed really fascinating. You have Robert Pattinson playing multiple versions of himself, and how are they going to use this concept? And at the beginning, it does seem interesting enough, but I don't know, just to keep my attention, I will say it does keep my attention throughout the film, but I don't know. There's just something about it that didn't click with me. I think the story wasn't there quite well. I mean, I mean, I don't want to keep comparing it to Parasite, but that's kind of what I cling to first. And it's just in terms of story, Parasite was just so brilliant, and Mickey 17 just it seemed like something was there, but it just didn't deliver. But performances were great. Robert Pattinson is great. We also have Hulk in there, with Mark Ruffalo. He was a real D head in this, but fun to watch. There were some really neat visual moments as well. Especially, yeah, even like I said, the concept seemed interesting, but very disappointed from Bong Joon-ho. At number 2, Captain America: Brave New World, man. Ugh. I mean, this poster says exactly it. It's a Hulk movie. It's not. I mean, you've had, coming off of Avengers Endgame, Chris Evans, his Captain America, passing on the torch to Sam Wilson. And yeah, you could say with the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, we've gotten our arc for Sam Wilson to become the next Captain America. And yeah, like that delivered, but still this film is titled Captain America, and bringing in this new world of what seems like they were trying to rebuild the Avengers, but it still kept reverting back to the 2008 Hulk film. It's just like, why? Like, they didn't need to do that. And I think this was a part of the tail end era of the Marvel Disney, of them just churning stuff out. And I know this film did a lot of reshoots. They restructured the heck out of this film, apparently, and it shows, unfortunately. So very disappointing. It sucks that this was the MCU film to start off the year, because man, was it disappointing. It's just, this film should have been about Sam Wilson and the characters surrounding Sam Wilson to help support that story, and it just wasn't that. So disappointing, But luckily after that, we got 2 really great MCU films, so, at least we weren't left with a bad taste, at the end of this year. So, Captain America: Brave New World for number 2, most disappointing. And at number 1, this is an interesting one, Karate Kid Legends. Karate Kid is one of my favorite films of all time. I put it on the pedestal in terms of just me as a lover of film. The original films with Ralph Macchio, they're so special. My dad introduced me to those, and I'm so grateful for that because they have such a great story behind it. I mean, yeah, they're typical in a sense. They're just a great action, a really neat 80s style film. And with Karate Kid Legends, bringing in Mr. Han from the Jaden Smith Karate Kid and Ralph Macchio, the two that are two senseis who are going to come together and uh, give some more wisdom and knowledge to this new kid who is played by Ben Wang, who is great. He's in a lot of stuff right now. He was I was just talking about in my top films of 2025. He was just in The Long Walk. He was fantastic in it. He's also going to be in the new Hunger Games late next year, Sunrise on the Reaping. Love this guy. He's great. And what I really wanted for Karate Kid Legends was the all I wanted was just a really neat emotional story, and I was not given that. All I wanted was some really great action sequences, and I really wasn't given that. I think the trailer gives way to a really sweet moment where he's swinging on the fire escape, and that's all looks practical. Like I'm assuming there's some wire work used in there as well, but I think this film it could have been so much more. I was so disappointed because the Karate Kid movies have such a special place in my heart. I love the Cobra Kai series as well, and it's really neat because they do at the tail end of this film there is an end credits scene that loosely ties to Cobra Kai, but not. So that was neat to see Johnny Lawrence in there. But again, just massively disappointed. I wanted just better action sequences. Like any action sequences you can just shoot and really choreograph and not cut. Like any action sequence with physical hand-to-hand combat, and you cut a lot, it just breaks the dance. Like fight sequences, whether it's gunplay in John Wick or if it's fist fighting in something like The Raid, like there has to be flow for us to feel the immersion of it. Because once you break that flow with a cut, it just loses us. And Karate Kid Legends does that in a lot of ways, and it's very disappointing because the way they teed up the trailer, it's like, oh, we're getting legit action in Karate Kid. Come on, like let's go. But I was not given that, so very disappointed. There was also that weird side story with Joshua Jackson or something like that. One of the other supporting roles, this side story that it goes down, it was not needed. It's just I don't think maybe some love was put into this film, but it just didn't feel like it had much care put into it, which is thoroughly disappointing because I love Karate Kid and it's a flop for me. So that is my most disappointing films of the year. David, you got any disappointing things of the year to chat about?
So I don't have a film, but I have a show, and it's a
Okay.
show on Peacock called All Her Fault. Now, I was getting multiple things on my feed about this show. People saying it's so good, it's gonna hook you, line sinker. You're gonna watch the whole thing, and like you're gonna be amazed. Well, and this was not sponsored content that I was seeing. So this was organic content that people chose to make about this that was fed to me thinking I would enjoy this. We bought a Peacock membership for 1 month for this. And I have to preface, I have not seen the entire thing because of my reasons why. And the biggest thing for me is the acting. Man, like I noticed from the very first scene, the acting seemed lackluster. And I could be completely alone. This could be the hottest take of the year, and I'm just about to get absolutely roasted because this clip is gonna go like mega viral, and everyone's just gonna be coming at me for this. Like, you gotta watch the whole thing, blah blah blah. I watched the first, I want to say 3.5 episodes, and it was like the thing about with acting, right? You want it to feel real. Like you don't want to know that someone is acting. Like you shouldn't realize, oh, this person is like acting. You should be able to feel like it should feel like a genuine reaction. And man, there's a lot of like most of the time it does not. And it's just again, from the very first scene, which is the scene that everyone shows that's supposed to hook you, is like, when I saw some of the clips of the very first scene, it does hook you. Like, it kind of, like, the story hooks you. But for me, I just could not get away from the performances. It just felt like this is not genuine. This seems, and again, there's some moments that are like good. Okay, like there's some moments. Like obviously I watched the first 3.5 episodes. I gave it that much time. But I just couldn't see it all the way through. And I could be just dead wrong. People are like, you gotta watch the whole thing, blah blah blah. No.
Nope.
Nope. So yeah, that was my one disappointing.
It's a shame. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, you want to love everything, but unfortunately, not everything is to be loved. So that is our most disappointing of 2025. Let us know your thoughts. If you got anything that you're just massively disappointed about, whatever you just didn't connect with emotionally that you wish you could have, let us know. All right, guys, we're getting into something really cool. I know once we started this channel, I definitely wanted to dip into cinematography a little bit and just chat about shots and shot making. And since we're talking about our best of 2025, best films, that is, we're going to get into some of our favorite shots of the year. So I kind of pulled up some really interesting stuff from the site called Shot Deck, which is created by I forgot his name, but he's the cinematographer for Joker. He's like Todd Phillips' right hand man. He has worked on the Hangover films as well. He has a really neat eye for the visual, and he created this cool site called Shot Deck where I mean, they don't have every film on there, but you select a film. Like right here, we got a shot of Sinners, and you could run down pretty much the entire film, just stills of the entire film, and it's really neat. It's categorized, it's color coded. They have all a bunch of really neat, nerdy facts about the shot itself and where it was shot, how it was shot, what lens they used. Like lots of cool geeky stuff, and highly recommend Shot Deck. You guys check that out. Not sponsored, but hey, that'd be sweet if you guys sponsored us. Let's go. Maybe one day. But yeah, we're getting into this one, Sinners. I put this up. This shot came out of the trailer too, and it was always so enticing just seeing Michael B. Jordan just gun down something with just that cool like sunrise behind him, the smoke behind him as well. It was just a really sweet, just a really sweet shot. Him with that drum, that Tommy gun, just super awesome. David, yeah, if you want to talk about the shot from F1.
Yeah, so F1 was a really high quality movie in terms of the cinematography and kind of the camera work with it. That's kind of what it was what mainly known for. And a lot of people want to talk about the F1 cars. The opening sequence for me was honestly some of the best moments in the movie. Um Especially with being at Daytona and the fireworks basically going off, on the backstretch. This wide shot here was super great, and then the fireworks on the track was just something at another level. And I mean, these are real cars; they're really driving, and I don't know really like how they did it, and how they made this safe at all. But you're definitely from the get go, and they did this so well. You're just enveloped in like, holy crap, all this is real. All of these shots, like they're real cars, they're really driving, and we have fireworks on the track. And they essentially open with that in the movie, without the F1 part. That's what's crazy is like the F1
Mm,
cars are like the peak in terms of motorsport, right?
mhm.
And they do it without it, do it with something else. So honestly, like that for me is still one of the best moments of the film are these shots and this opening sequence.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely need to give F1 another watch because it is funny. I was telling David in some of our break segments that I think I like Gran Turismo more than F1. It's crazy. Well, I don't know. For me, the story connected with me a little better. It's something
I
weird
can
because
understand that.
yeah, it's more of I wouldn't say a more grounded story, but it was more of a relatable story because he's a young kid, he's aspiring to be something, and just that drive to I mean, no pun intended, but that drive to be a a really well or just to actually do the thing instead of just playing a game. It was really compelling, and I think in terms of the technical aspect of this film, of course, top notch, top marks coming from the director of Top Gun Maverick. I would expect nothing less. We've got next. Oh, okay, so this so this is from Ballerina, and when I was talking about my top films of the year with Ballerina entering at number 4, I think I want to have, yeah, is that number 4 for me for the year. I mean, just nonstop, just it's just beautiful the way this John Wick team, this stunt team, creates their sequences, and when they just go like baller and they just go for the I mean, they go for it. And in this exact moment, I remember so Anna de Armas plays our lead character and she's carrying this kind of vest of frag grenades, and as she's running from these goons chasing her, one kind of catches her off guard and she wraps the vest around his neck, kind of jumps over this table here, and like of course she like, undoes all the frags, and she wraps it around his neck, goes over the table, and it's like as the table's like turning over, she's using it as cover from the frags. So like simultaneously as the table's leaning over, the frags just blow up and then dude's skull is like, obliterated. It's just so crazy, but, like, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, "This shit is insane," but, like, in the best way. I mean, these guys have a blast with their, fight sequences. It's always a treat to see. Like, of course, in John Wick Chapter 4, when you have that top-down view when he's using the dragon's breath bullets. I mean, they have such an eye for creativity. That's what makes me so attracted to these films, and Ballerina is just a beautiful, beautiful example of that. Next, we got this shot from Weapons. No, it was really cool because, like, I wouldn't say this shot is very technically difficult, but it's like the Dutch angles are really they're really great at just creating like a simple dynamism within a shot. And as one of our supporting characters is running from the cops, it's just like he gets caught, he jumps down from the trash can, and he bolts it, and it's like the camera moves with him and is in Dutch angle position as he's running down this alleyway. And it was just really compelling. Like something simple as that doesn't need to be crazy. I just really found it compelling and really enjoyed it. This shot, I mean, of course, we'll be getting into a certain Superman shot soon. I think it's this next shot after this, but I mean, this shot says it all. I mean, Clark Kent, this is coming from Superman film this year, my top film of the year. It says it all. He's a man who's well, he's an alien who's at his heart a country boy who loves his family. His family loves him. It's just so beautiful. The colors in this film is used so well. It's just awesome. I love that subtle lens flare as well in the lower left. Great time. And here it is. Here's the shot that when I saw Superman for the first time, I'm like, that's probably the shot of the year, because not only beautiful, like visually, it's great. The music behind it is heightened, and especially the moment behind it as well. So going into this shot, the music, the moment create this just that little speck of Superman rising from the ashes, rising from the dust. I mean, heck yeah, man. David, I know this is your shot. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is definitely my shot of the year. And I think it was a lot of people because I saw a lot of discourse online talking about this specific moment and just how epic it was. Instant chills type moment in the theater. And you again enveloped in the immersed in the world of Superman, and you believe what is happening on screen is happening, and he is Superman. And it's such a perfect moment when he's rising from the dust from saving the woman in the car, and then the theme plays at just the perfect moment,
Perfect.
and just instant chills, and you're just like, whoa.
I was levitating, yeah, off my chair. Like, yeah, the I forgot the composer's name, but the way they used the original John Williams theme and twisted it to make it their own, altered it to make it their own, was genius. And like the way they introduced us to that theme from the first trailer of Superman when we got late last year, just the the way they use the guitar and the way it's used in this shot right here is just beautiful. Epic, the epitome of epic. And seeing this on an IMAX screen, oh, beautiful. What do we have next? Ah, yes, of course. So, and this was another beautiful sequence. Of course, most of you probably know, but this is from Weapons. This was mine and David's second favorite film of the year. It's oh my god! Once this moment happened, especially like if you know what this moment is from, it is so satisfying. The theater that I was in, the audience loved this moment, especially what happens after this moment and what you see. But leading up to this moment, the one shot aspect to go about this, just tracking a kid from behind, going through glass, going through screen doors. It was just so beautifully executed, and I think this film itself is just a showcase, a wonderful showcase of beautiful cinematography. It is so intentional. That's one thing I forgot to mention in my review or in my top 10 of the year with Weapons is that the cinematography in this film, it's so intentional. It knows what we should try and look for. It knows it has us in mind and really plays with us in moments, especially when they flip to different characters and how we see new perspectives of the same scenes that we've seen. It's just Weapons, just it's just a wonderful showcase at these types of sequences. Yeah, this sequence, David, I know this is one of your favorites. You got any thoughts?
Yeah, this is one. This is a jaw-dropping one. You know, in the theater, watching the kids just essentially from the POV angle, just run through glass and walls is so cool. Again, like you said, really masterclass of this movie in different cinematography techniques. It's so unique and creative in Weapons. I think that's honestly part of it why it makes it so good. Not only did you have an incredibly satisfying ending, but you had just an incredibly creative use of cinematography to capture that ending. One of the most memorable moments of the year for sure.
Absolutely, man. All right. Well, with that down, that is the end of this show. We're on episode 10 of the Rich Salad Show / Rich Salad podcast. And we're having a great time counting down the best films of the year. Next week, we're getting into the top most anticipated films for 2026. Dude, we got so many great things coming. Uh,
So
and
many.
and possibly like what I love about every year is there's always those films that you'd never expect to hit and they connect with you. For me, this year was Roofman. There was one film that I still wanted to see, Rental Family with Brendan Fraser. It was supposedly it's a really sweet story, and we've talked about it on the podcast before. So really looking forward to that whenever it comes to VOD, but unfortunately wasn't able to catch it in time. So that is our thoughts for best of the year, some of the most disappointing of the year. Talked about Odyssey, talked about Marty Supreme, talked about Iron Lung with Markiplier. David, you got any final thoughts for today's show?
It's been a heck of a year for movies, and I think next year will be probably a much more hyped year, much more heavily anticipated
Yeah.
movie year for sure. And really, in terms of different media with TV shows and video games, finally getting Grand Theft Auto 6 next year. It's going to change a lot of the economics of the United States will change because of that game releasing and when it releases.
Yeah.
So going to be lots of hype surrounding 2026.
All right, guys, let us know your thoughts on today's show. Favorites of 2025, favorite shots, least favorites of 2025. Curious to hear your thoughts. We will see you next week.